So it is Chinese New Year, and although I'm not in China and I haven't celebrated Chinese New Year with my family in a very long time, I still like to do some traditions at home. And so on the first day of New Year's, which this year was the 9th, I did go back and eat a traditional big banquet with my parents and immediate family. It's usually called Reunion Day, family reunion dinner, and you kind of make it a big deal. My parents and I, we go out to eat because my mom's like, I'm not putting in this much work for y'all. And then we'll stay up till midnight and kind of give each other good wishes. And then my parents and my aunts and uncles and stuff will have sent me red envelopes, which is just cash money, which is amazing. Recently, there's been a trend to do like digital kind of red envelopes, and my parents are very against that. They're very traditional. It has to be a real paper envelope. There's a day every single day of Chinese New Year's on things that are lucky to do, things you're supposed to do, themes. There's one day where, it's you want to be outside and spend it in nature. And then kind of a personal ritual that I have is kind of a on the 8th day, it's called Day of the Grain. It's you kind of have a second reunion dinner, but because I have to travel to see my parents, we didn't have that. But I make sure to kind of make a mini reunion dinner of food that we consider good luck on my own. So I'm making fried rice with Chinese sausage and also some Cantonese steamed fish. It's supposed to be a whole fish with bones and all. That's really like prosperity and luck, but it's really annoying to eat by yourself. So I'm just doing it filet. And here you're supposed to put the ginger in and fry it before you put in the rice, but I forgot. So I was like, I'll just make a little hole in the middle and the the ginger can kind of just fry in the middle of the rice. It didn't work, but it didn't destroy the dish or anything. And so I also added some Napa cabbage, and then in along with the Chinese sausage, I had also cut up some shiitake mushrooms as well, and just a little bit of soy sauce. We are from the north, and so we don't do the egg thing that you see a lot of other fried rice do, where it's almost yellow fried rice because of the egg yolk. We just do soy sauce, so our rice kind of is brown. And here I am cleaning off my stovetop because you cannot allow grains of rice to go to waste. That's not a Chinese New Year thing, that's just an Asian thing. And then for the steamed fish, you make this sauce that's the ginger and then the slices, the white slices of the scallion parts. Mix it with water, mix it with Chinese cooking oil or Shaoxing wine, and then also soy sauce, of course. You kind of boil that down and it becomes like really thick and salty and fragrant. And then for the fish, I actually just use tilapia. It's traditionally branzino, but again, super hard to find in America. My mom sometimes uses cod for this as well, but for me, tilapia fillet is the best thing that I can do. And I use this little steamer, which is definitely not traditional, but super convenient. And then after the fish is steamed, all you have to do is put it in a plate and then just top it with cilantro, top it with like the green parts of the scallion that you have left over from before, and then just pour the sauce over it. This is a super easy dish that I eat all the time, not just during Chinese New Year. This is kind of a quick 10-15 minute meal that I make maybe once a month or something. It's also very fresh, it's very healthy, and it's always delicious. And it's one of my favorite dishes, actually. And so you can see the just yummy goodness of that sauce being poured over with those wilted ginger and scallion parts. So that was my second reunion dinner with myself. Fried rice and fish for prosperity and luck throughout the ages. And then the other thing that's really good luck is Chinese walnut cookies. So I used a recipe from Walks of Life. Chinese think walnuts are very prosperous. They are fortuitous and they also signify intelligence because they think the walnut looks like a brain. Chinese are actually very superstitious, which is kind of funny because of the stereotype that they're very into STEM and stuff. And it's like, yeah, but they also believe in a lot of ancient Chinese medicine and some pretty superstitious stuff. But these walnut cookies are really delicious. They're supposed to be pretty crumbly, and the recipe warned me of that. But when I was making it, it just did not come together. I was like trying to mash it together and push it together. So I decided to chuck in some extra butter, always a good idea, and then mash it together like this. And then you just form little balls from it, and the extra butter definitely helped out and worked. And I think it's because of all that fat that also makes it really flaky. And then you just press a whole walnut into the center of each cookie. I made a half batch, which is why you only see 7 cookies on the sheet, but it's just for myself because, again, I'm just celebrating by myself. And so I didn't want to make, too many, aka I didn't want to repeat my blueberry oatmeal cookie mistake that I made the last time. And so once these went into the oven, they only baked for less than 10 minutes, and they come out really delicious. I should have measured something because they look a little uneven in size, but they're just super crumbly and flaky and buttery, and they got obviously an intense walnut taste, not because of just the walnut on top, but you also put in chopped walnuts in the batter itself. They're not supposed to be too golden brown. They're supposed to remain pretty pale, and it just reminds me of childhood, and if it gives me extra intelligence, then all the good for it. But yeah, happy Lunar New Year. Oh, that's another thing. In Asia, you want to say Lunar New Year if you're not in China or you're not like guaranteed to speak to Chinese people, because other people in Asia get really, really mad when we call it Chinese New Year. And so to play it safe, you always say Happy Lunar New Year to anyone. So happy Lunar New Year to everyone, and I hope you got to spend some time with your family as well as yourself, and then just enjoy a nice reset and relaxation.